Hey, what's up guys? It's Ben2000YGO. I am your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero, and today, guys, it's Battle of the Bots on the Structure Deck Wars. Stick around. Alright, before we get into this video, guys, I want to let you guys know a real quick announcement. If you guys want to support this channel, I am selling Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards on my eBay page, which will be linked in the description below. I sell them at competitive prices, so make sure that you come check it out. I may have something that you want, you know, for your collection for super cheap. And remember, it would be helping out this channel, which is going to help me buy product and maybe even help me enter a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament later this year, which I'm excited for, YCS Fort Worth. So if you guys want to help me get there, make sure you go check that out and do me a solid. Anyway, let's get into the video, shall we? Alright, so if you're new to the Ben2000YGO channel, this is how the Structure Deck Wars works. This is a whole tournament style event where I am pitting all of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure decks against each other and to determining which is the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure deck. So, today's bout will be the Geargia Structure Deck versus the Ancient Gear, the newest Ancient Gear Structure Deck. So, today's video is Battle of the Bots, and let me tell you guys, this fight is not as one-sided as you might think. I know, that's going to be a big, bold statement. I know some of you guys are thinking this fight's one-sided. No, it is not. Anyway, and how we do this is we'll have this little conversation in the front, we'll have some replay footage in the middle, and then we will talk about which deck won and why they won at the end of the video. So make sure you stick around, and yeah, let's get into the duels, shall we? And let's figure out which bot is better in these Battle of Bots. Alright guys, there you have it. The Ancient Gear deck took it. I'm afraid that the Geargia deck just didn't quite have what it took to measure up to this fight, and that's okay. I mean, this deck did have some advantages, truth be told. I mean, they both had the field spell, Gear Town, which basically means that both decks could benefit from that. So it was almost like a mirror match, almost, because Geargias were using also a lot of Ancient Gear stuff, and this is an Ancient Gear deck. And funny enough, they also both happen to be using like gadget type cards. It was kind of funny. But unfortunately, the Geargia, like, if we look at this, the Ancient Gear deck, like, it had too much for them to handle. Plus the cards like Maxi, and then, like I said, Gear Town doesn't just affect you as the player, it'll affect your opponent as well if they have Ancient Gears. So the Geargia deck has the horrible disadvantage of giving this deck extra copies of its field spell, basically, which allows you to summon any of these big guys here for next to lower costs. And, you know, like, plus with all the, like, Maxi, free draw power, Galaxy Cyclone, back row hate, I mean, effect negation, like, this structure deck actually literally just comes with a lot of, like, powerful cards and staples, which I was very impressed by. Although I will say this fight was very close, because this deck the Ancient Gear deck can brick. Like, I'm not even kidding, it absolutely can brick. It's just like look here, right? If you go right here, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 high-level monsters, which means that's a lot of high levels. So if you don't draw cards that are going to let you summon these guys, I mean, you are literally, you know, just sitting there going, twiddling your thumbs. Now, granted, this deck did have Pseudo Space, and it did have Mausoleum to help it get it there, so it had like 3 cards to help it, like Pseudo Space to copy a card to get it there, and then of course it had 2 field spells of its own, and then of course it had the banned Maxi to give it some extra power, which I do think that this actually did matter, as the Geargia deck is a spammy type deck. Now if we come over to that deck, the Geargia deck. Okay, the Geargia deck didn't have as much brute force, right? It had way too much access to Gear Town, which is funny for the gear cards it was using, which is just Chimera and Galvatron. This was a very cool concept idea. I actually like this structure deck too. It had some really cool thoughts. But ultimately, this deck is lacking in a few departments, and one of those departments is like, alright, the other one has the ability to make it to where monster effects aren't activatable, and for its protection, like Swift Scarecrow, and, like, you know, obviously they had the other cards that say no to other things, like Limit Removal and Metal Morph. I mean, this deck just couldn't do it. The only way this deck was winning is if the other deck bricked. And also, they only had one monster with enough brute force to actually fight them back. So, unfortunately, as powerful as this deck is, it just didn't have what it didn't have the. I mean, and plus it kind of bricks with the gadgets. You summon a gadget, you gain a card. Sure, you went +1, but you don't do anything with it. So, ultimately, that is why the winner of this bout is the Ancient Gears. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this and this analytical kind of discussion about why the decks win at the end. If you guys have any suggestions that could make this series a little bit better, feel free to comment that below. The matchups will not be changing because of your comment. I'm just going to tell you that right now. The matchups are still what they are. But, that being said, this so far has been a really cool series, and for this one I really enjoyed it because it was a battle of bots. We've had a lot of dragons coming and going here lately, so it was cool to see something fresh, and that is exactly what this episode was. Now, dragons will be making a return in the next episode, and it's gonna be Dragons Collide versus the Soul Burner structure deck, so you guys don't want to miss that. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel and give me one of these, so I'll know that you guys are enjoying this. just as a little announcement before we head out of here, I want you guys to know I am making preparations to try to go to YCS Fort Worth. I live in Texas, so this is my YCS, so I'm hoping to go. If any of you guys happen to be there and you see me there, please walk up and say hello. I would love to say hi to anyone. I know that we're a small group and niche of people, but just in the off chance there's a handful of you guys there, feel free to say hello. Hi. You know what I mean? I'll be more than happy to shake your hand and, you know, take a picture or whatever if that's what you want to do. I'll just trust me. If you guys walk up and say hi to me, I'll be just as thrilled. So, yeah. And real quick, also, just so I don't forget that if you guys want to support the channel, check out my eBay page. That'd be greatly appreciative, and also would help me in the effort of going to YCS Fort Worth, just, you know, and you'll get something out of it. So, that's all I got for you guys. I'm Ben 10,000 Wajo. I am your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.